VP Biden, he actually rejected the advice of the commanding officers and all of the people who have been there and who knew what was up. They were saying not that they were against withdrawing troops. They were saying in order to avoid a catastrophe, you need to do it on a specific timeline. And I'm going to tell you something. I know that none of us like Milley, right? I think it's pretty fair to say that none of us like this dude. One thing I'll say is this. It doesn't matter the politics of the general. It doesn't matter if it was Petraeus. It doesn't matter if it was who it was. Mad Dog, it doesn't matter who it was. Every single senior military official who is advising not only Obama, Biden at that time, but even Trump and now even Biden again, including Petraeus, were all on the same page about withdrawal. And they also knew, regardless of everyone's, including my own, positions on War Inc. and the military-industrial complex, they also knew you can't have necessarily a military-industrial complex unless you also have the will of the people that fund the military-industrial complex. And of course, you don't want to, whenever you got the frog in the pot of water, you don't want to alert it to the fact that the temperature's going up. So they were saying this is the right way to do it. Some were motivated. All of these people advising them were all, maybe some of them were motivated by different reasons, but everyone was on the same page that, look, this is where we need to be at this time. This is at this stage. This is how all of this needs to happen. And Biden told Obama to ignore all of them. Biden rejected the advice of the ISAF commander who was going to be CIA director, Petraeus. In 2009, when Obama made the decision to surge the 33,000 in the first place, a lot of people thought, oh, this is, here's a victory. And then 18 months later, Obama's like, we're going to take them all out. 10,000 this year, 33 next September. And Biden said, no, don't do it like this. So Biden announced in his speech from the White House that he was actually going to shift basically the people he was listening to, he was going to shift away from listening to the people who were in charge of prosecuting the war, according to the New York Times. He was going to listen to Biden. Oh my gosh. Against Gates, against Biden. Oh my gosh. Everybody. That's a big deal. A very big deal. Doesn't that foreshadow what happened in Afghanistan under Joe Biden? Now you see where now you see he came by the stupid honest. He's been consistently ridiculous about this. When Obama left office, he announced that about 8,400 troops were going to remain in Afghanistan. And even when Trump went out and said, we're going to have all troops out by Christmas 2020, all those people who've been prosecuting this whole time said, look, they got a hold of Trump and they said, look, if you do it like this, you're going to create a disaster. It's like pulling all the blocks of a Jenga level down too fast. It's got to be done in a certain amount of time. It doesn't mean you're against it. It just means, do you want to do this right and not have to, run the risk of maybe doing this again if someone else decides that they're going to try to do this again? Good heavens. And he listened to them. There was the difference. Trump listened to the people who were there and prosecuted the war. Joe Biden thinks he knows better than every damn person in his cabinet. Remember, he was promoted to that VP ticket with Obama. The two of them hated each other. He was promoted to that ticket because he was supposed to be the foreign policy expert. I did election coverage. I remember ad nauseum everybody trotting out. And I remember one time, I think it was at, I remember who it was. Maybe it was at ABC, wherever I was at the time. I remember I got a couple of people mad at me because I was like, well, what is exactly his foreign policy experience? Can we talk about what gives Joe Biden foreign policy experience? Because I don't necessarily think that sitting in Washington, D.C. and looking at paperwork translates to complete foreign policy experience. Now, you can know about certain issues. You can know, like, for instance, I can sit here and tell you tons of stuff about Cold War. I can tell you the history of why Russia's in the Black Sea wanting to fight with Ukraine over these warm water ports, all et cetera, et cetera. That's not the same as having the foreign policy experience of, like my friend Kurt Schlichter, who's actually been in Kosovo and has dealt with Cold War stuff. It's very different, right? Joe Biden, him being in D.C. and sending everyone else's kids to war, that does not translate into him actually having his own foreign policy experience. These are not, XP points that you can share, okay? And this is where we are.